Hey, brothers and sisters, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi. And this is going to be a very important video. If you're a family man or just a regular old Afro man in the United States, I keep telling people that there's only a level to where you can build here. And if you try to really do anything big, you will be sabotaged by America if you're an Afro person. And it will be an inside job. I thought about this as everybody is reporting on the imminent demise of the Big Baller brand. All right. And why LeVar Ball could not come back from the disastrous choice that he had in trusting another quote unquote black man. All right. So let me give you some background real quick before I really just dive deep in this. The LeVar Ball had this idea. He started this Big Baller brand with his family. His wife was running the finances and everything was going well. His wife got sick. When his wife got sick, he counted on another friend to take over the financial part while he went out and promoted the business. All right. So that's basically it. Now, everything was downhill from the point of his wife getting sick because he had to rely on somebody outside of his family. Y'all, this is the importance of an intact family where brothers need to find wives that they can trust. Remember, I don't advocate separation from the black woman because she's a black woman. I advocate separation from the black woman because she destroys everything that we try to build. And she has the support of, say, people like YouTube. All right. This guy had a Caucasian wife that stuck with him. Regular people. I'm talking about regular people. I'm not talking about stars. Stars, that's a whole other ballgame. But as a regular person, they were able to almost do something really humongous. But they were sabotaged from the inside, and I'm going to break this down. There were a couple of modes of attack that I saw used to take this man down. And important in all of them prongs of attack, they had sellout black men. All right. So I want y'all to bear with me as I illustrate why America is not the land of opportunity for Afro men, for Afro men, for Afro families where the man is in charge. And it will never be for a black woman is because she will think she's in charge of anything, but there's always the entities outside that's running anything she does. She's appointed by them to destroy us. Hence Google, YouTube, right? How anytime she attacks a black man, even though we're supposed to be a protected group, they will support that attack on black men. That's what we call racism by the establishment that prevents a protected group from having a voice. That group would be black men. They determine their racism is they determine what racism is since it's their platform. See how that works? Let me greet everybody real quick. Hadu Gudag, Ola, Oi to the Bay, Vassos Los, Bonjour, mes amis. Keru, bawa ni konnichiwa. Ni hao, ni hao ma, sani bonani, jambo habaragani, assalamu alaikum, and shalom. All right. So let's get into the breakdown. But first, let me remind y'all, let's get those thumbs up, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Reluctant Nobby Blessed. All right. So click the thumbs up button. Many of you will probably have to resubscribe to this channel right now that are watching this video, because this is not the other channel. Black women, a bunch of black women subscribe to that channel only for the purpose of trying to take it down. All right. So if I see women that we are not accustomed to seeing in this feed as subscribers, I'm blocking them. I don't need them to subscribe. I don't want nothing to do with them. The sisters that had our back, I'm gonna support them. They need me for anything, I'm gonna support them, right? Because I know they supported me. That's like one sister in particular. If she never do anything else, I'm always sending her something. All right. I want y'all to understand why I'm on this channel. Bunch of black women subscribe to my channel in order to take it down. This is why we can't build anything with them. Right? And for the good ones, we can't tell you're good until you're with us. Physically with us. See, so online is not the same. So that's why we're on here. Right? So to continue what we do, yeah, donation is going to be needed. All right. And for the brothers in Houston, we're making that trip again. So let's get together. I might be coming down with some more brothers. All right. So my PayPal me again. You take care of yourself and family first. It'll be in the description box. Just click on it, and it's a quick 30-second step. And donate whatever you can. But you take care of yourself first. Let's get the thumbs up here. And you may have to subscribe to this channel. All right. So let's move on. So I was going to review some of the big baller brand shoes because they started putting out some nice shoes. They really did. They started to put out some nice shoes. They were going strong and they were doing some things. All right. They were doing some things. Then there was a concerted effort to tear these people down. And it was on three prongs. They went after the father-son relationship. They went after the family relationship. And they went after a stopgap measure because what he was trying to do is never allowed in America for an Afro man. And I say to you this, when hip hop came out, we were able to own things because they thought it was going to die. Who now owns all of hip hop content? Remember, black people used to own their own content, but they don't anymore. Wait a minute, you're on YouTube, right? You don't own your channel. YouTube does. If they change their rules on a daily basis to decide what people they want to kick off their platform. Remember, this is a very unjust system. And when you speak to it, they will punish you. All right. My channels have been shadow banned because I'm speaking to this and really I don't give a F. I will speak to the evil that whoever the people, the corporation of YouTube and all the people that work there, that are on board with the stuff that YouTube is doing to Afro men in particular, but even to conservatives, if they decide not to like a group, they will create rules in order to justify silencing those groups. This is a reason why America is not the land of opportunity, especially if you're an Afro man. But what they did with Big Baller Brand was sinister, wicked, and evil. All right. And many people played a part. All right. So here's the quick breakdown on the parts that the people played. All right. So as we go over the prongs, as I see it, prong one, LeVar Ball's wife gets sick. She was handling the finances. The company was doing good. It was rising. She gets sick. He hires this guy who's a friend. Kind of hardly, I mean, he knows him, but he should not have trusted him, right? Now, in the meantime, the ad campaign against the LeVar Ball and his family started with the powers that be in America. When on the sports shows, most of the people that was trying to drag him through the mud for having the audacity to start a shoe company was, well, the Caucasian sports announcers. And because all the black men and women that work for them companies are owned in contract by those companies, they were in on it. So that started the first one. So that when his son finally goes to the LA Lakers, a bunch of black people despise his son for no other reason than he has a father that wants to do the best for his son. Every negative thing that the media said about LeVar Ball, about how he shouldn't start his own business, how his son should be owned by Nike, many black people jumped on that same bandwagon. You know, the bandwagon of the sports casters. You only had a few that was allowed to speak their mouth, speak the truth. And that was allowed to have a will. Jalen Rhodes is not one of those people. All right, we'll get to him in a minute. So this was the first prong of attack. The second one was this guy. He comes in and steals millions of LeVar Ball's son's money. Now, Lonzo is going through a transition with the Lakers in which the coach intentionally does not play him to his strengths. Then LeBron James go to LA. Understand this. LeBron James goes to LA. When LeBron James get hurt, Lonzo Ball starts to shine. I mean, really shine. I want you to understand it. And people saw how good this dude could really be. But that didn't matter. Why? Because the seeds of despise and jealousy was planted in many of the black people's consciousness to despise this dude because he had a father that started a shoe company for the family. And they wanted to see him and that shoe company fail. Because, you know, our mama's black. And they're not promoting strong fathers in the United States. They're promoting wicked mothers. All right? I want you to understand it. So he comes in, he steals the money, which then drives a wedge between Lonzo and the business. Wait a minute, we're not done yet. Then the next wedge that's driven is LeBron acts like he's befriending Lonzo, but yeah, he's looking to stab him in the back. That's right. He's looking to stab him straight in the back because he's the second prong of attack. You separate his money from Big Baller Brand, then they can't make it. If you separate him from the business, then the business goes flat. So how do you do it? You have people that Lonzo respects, probably looks up to, like LeBron James, who is a Nike person. He's owned lock, stock, and barrel by Nike. He couldn't even comment on Steph Curry's white hospital shoes, the jokes that everybody was making that there were nurses lined up around the building. And it was funny. Even Steph Curry thought it was funny. A bunch of people still bought the shoes, but it was funny, right? He couldn't even comment because he couldn't mention the name of the brand of the shoe. Nike tells him what he can say and what he cannot say. When Nike wants him to stand up for a particular issue, then he stands up. If they don't want him to stand up for a particular issue, then he don't stand up. So Nike determines lock, stock, and barrel what LeBron James does and says. And he's their puppet, all that for money. All right, to the point where he couldn't even make a joke about another person's shoe. Right? So his job was to separate Lonzo from his father. And let's make this clear. In the media wanted this separation, that Lonzo need to separate from his father. Why? Because the powers that be wanted his money that he was making with the Lakers separated from the family money so that Big Baller Brand would fail, because you're not allowed to have a company on that grand scale like that if you are an Afro man in America, because America does not allow for that kind of an opportunity for an Afro man in America. So it was sabotaged, right? And so now they got the money gone. All right, because now Lonzo is hurt by what the guy did by embezzling, stealing his money because he's running the finances. LeBron now comes in whispering into his ears, you need to move with Nike because they own me. They should own you too, instead of you being an independent person and running your own shoe deal. And they would make sure that he would be locked up to never have the idea of running his own shoe company as he gets money. All right, you can own little things like a Starbucks and McDonald's and stuff because that's what they allow us to do. A big, massive shoe company, a corporation, no. There is no corporation in media or anything else, even if it started as Black founded and owned, there is no corporation where an Afro man owns it that it has not been taken over by the Caucasians. And if we come up with one, it will soon be taken over by Caucasians. The only people that are allowed to own corporations like that in this country are the people that the establishment says. And they'll have their tokens, which in this case is going to be the BFIMs, but never a family man like LeVar Ball. Next, you have this Molly Quinn thing. Molly Carroll. All right, which he said nothing that was flirtatious. He was being smart. He was being who he is. And it's not the first time that they had this kind of a thing. All of a sudden, she, not him, she is going to redefine what he says to interpret something that he didn't, that really doesn't mean what she interpreted. But she, as a B film, she ain't even a B film. She's another one. I just say wicked. She was the last thing in his she was the last cog in his wheel, because they had to get him off of the media. They had to get him away from promotions. And so this little comment that got blown up, because she blew it up, because this is the era of the liars me too. And these women are liars. And Jalen Rose have to support her lying, because that's his wife. But let's get it clear. Most of these claims are lies. Most. You got some that are telling the truth, but no one believes them anymore. And if you're a man, you're not going to believe it, because the vast majority of them have been lies. And now these women are weaponizing lying to control who gets to speak, who does not get to speak, who gets to be on the show, who does not get to be on the show. And they use them like this. So you can see the evil smirk in her face. All right? So that's where we are on this. All this to separate a father's love from his son, because that's not allowed in the United States. In the United States, we promote the United States of America promotes only the destructive behavior when it comes to the Afro family of the black woman, and she gets to destroy anything that the Afro man tries to build. If he builds beyond her because he avoids her, so the reason why he was able to attempt this building of his big baller brand and a shoe company, because of who he wasn't married to. All right. Right now, I have to make sure to block black women, out of my YouTube channel so they don't destroy it. All right. And I don't care what YouTube call it. I call it, every time they don't like the facts that I'm putting up, and the video that that YouTube took down had nothing but facts. Oh, but it's on Facebook, because there is no racism in it. There is no hate speech in it. It shows you what liars YouTube is. Because I don't put hate speech. Me, as an Afro man, wanting to separate from somebody that continuously every day seeks to try to destroy anything I try to build, because I don't like wickedness. Well, according to YouTube, telling the truth is now going to be classified as hate speech. All right, y'all got to understand what's going on. I'm going to show you how wicked this system is, and this is going to be another story. This system is so wicked that this happened. I'm going to put this link in the description box. This man was serving life in prison for a murder, and prosecutors had the evidence that he was likely innocent for 27 years. These are the people that said, if you're an Afro man, YouTube says you will not have a voice. Unless you say things and do things exactly the way we want, you cannot speak about issues in your community. We will ban you. We will take your videos down. This is what real racism looks like. The companies, they will set you up and make sure that you never rise but only so high. And Obama being the president of the United States, get that crap out of here. The dude was Kenyan and white. He was not the descendant of slaves. Again, and the president is not a business. It's a political office to which people vote for you. It is not a business you make on your own. And when he became president, it's not like he reforms the Constitution to suit himself. No, everything is run according to the Constitution, which was created by Caucasian men, the Bill of Rights, and all the laws governing the presidency that was created by Caucasian men. So any Afro man, say a descendant of slaves, become president, he is still under the confinements of Caucasian law. You just made it to the highest corporate office as the CEO of a Caucasian run country that's run by their rules, their system of righteousness and justice, which has not been just for an Afro man for a long time. So I want y'all to understand this. Martin Luther King, everybody looks to him as this great orator, great leader, but they forget that this dude was constantly sent to jail. All right, he was beaten by the same people. He was done to him physically is ironically what YouTube is doing to Afro men, kind of in the same spirit, that if you speak up for what's going on in your community, only our oppressor is now the BFM, right? They don't like that. Why? Because they want you to integrate into their own wickedness. But before Martin Luther King turned, well, just after he turned that corner and started to see what Malcolm X was talking about, he made the statement, I fear that I have integrated my people into a burning house. Because he realized that what he thought America could be was never going to be what it is. And this story here, what YouTube is doing to Afro people that's speaking out about the community, makes the legacy of that statement true in every which way. This is why the country's going to hit the wall. Period. And all these dudes running around backing somebody squashing the freedom of speech of another because you support a political party, there's not going to be a political party. It's going to be a dictatorship to look like what the Soviets looked like. That's what we're moving to. The funny thing is the Soviets are moving to more like what our democracy was supposed to be. And the United States, through the liberalism and the Democratic Party, is moving more towards what the Soviet Union was back in the day. The only difference is it might end up in another civil war. So America better be careful. And it won't be the black people that they need to worry about either. With that said, I'm out.